The following program is brought to you by Naleo TV, the people's platform.
Keeping our island community informed and secure. Be alert, be aware, and care. Together we can have a safe Hawaii.
Hey, welcome back again to the Fire Prevention Party. I am Battalion Chief Royd Henderson with the Hawaiʻi Fire Department. And today, folks, we are talking about wildfire. And so I brought in, and with Mr. Tyson over here who's hiding in the corner, we brought in a very, very special guest for today. So we brought in Inspector John Requelman. Here you go. Beautiful. Good job.
Hi.
There you go.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So introduce yourself, Mr. Requelman.
My name is John Requelman. I'm a fire inspector with the Hawaiʻi Fire Department. I've been in the department for approximately 20 years.
Wait, 20 years?
20. You heard right. That's a long time.
Yep. Okay.
So I've been a firefighter EMT for 18 years, and I've been in fire prevention for about 3 years.
Okay. Anything else? Accomplishments, medals, super awesomeness.
Super awesomeness. So as an inspector, I do inspections, obviously, of businesses and stuff. I also do fire investigations and code enforcement.
Right.
I do some public education, like safety talks and stuff.
So safety talks are gonna be big, right? So
Yeah.
today we're talking about wildfire, right? So this whole series, we're gonna have a 3-part series. So make sure you guys are tuned in each month, because each month we're gonna drop one piece of this. Naleo is anyway, not us, because they're way better than we are at this stuff.
Yes.
So I just want to introduce wildland incidents, right? Wildfire. So can you give us just like a quick, what do we consider a wildfire?
So wildfire is pretty much just grasslands, leaves, trees, brush that catch fire.
Mhm.
And some of these areas are connected to or close to, most of these areas, most of our developed areas are surrounded by grass and leaves. So it's a big problem for us.
Right. So like places on island like Waikoloa, for instance.
Yeah, they're totally surrounded.
Right. They're basically completely surrounded, right? So for us, you'll hear the term sometimes wildland urban interface, right? And it's kind of this idea that you have tons of open land with uncultivated growth, they call it. Right?
Yeah, right.
And so it's just kind of growing there. And if it catches on fire, it can potentially affect the neighborhoods, right, that are connected to that boundary, right? Okay, cool. So for the wildland portion, we as firefighters, we're always challenged, right? We're dealing with it, right? Because, I mean, it's a big island, right? So we have 20 stations and so many guys and 4,000, right? Fact checker, 4,000, right?
4,000 square.
I'm getting a slight nod, so I'm assuming it's about there. So we have a ton of land to cover, right? So, for wildland, a lot of it I know is prevention, and that's some of the stuff you do, right? Is a lot of the safety talks, go to see people and provide brochures like this one. We'll talk about it in the next segment. And so, when you're discussing it with people, can you just give us really quick, like a brief overview of more or less like what a wildland incident is and how it kind of grows and how we deal with it?
Yeah, so a wildland usually starts, actually it is a fact that 99% of all fires are humans, started by humans. So that's important, and most of it is accidental. So then that's a good thing, because if it's accidental, we there's possibility to correct that. So our fire usually starts from embers or I mean, it starts
hot exhaust. If you haven't seen the video,
my famous video. Did you know? It starts, usually it's small, and then as it gets larger, it moves to, gets bigger and moves towards our communities.
So like, how those things grow? Because we were talking about the other day with our mapping and our drone systems. We'll talk about that stuff later, but you can see how quick these things start, right? So, you know, it's kind of like that Did You Know video that we have had lots of laughs about, right? But it's one of those weird things where it can start and it can seem really small, and the weather can pick it up and it can go.
There's a lot of things that affect that, topography, wind, relative humidity, stuff like that. So there's a lot of different factors that.
So when you're driving to Costco and you see all the grass is dry,
that's
try not to park in the brush.
That's not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't park in the brush.
Right.
Did you know?
Did you know you shouldn't park in the brush?
Yeah, that your exhaust system is hot.
But so one of the things I keep thinking about, and I think is a good message to get out to people, is just the understanding of it, right? Because these things go from really small incidents, you know, somebody on the side of the road, maybe they're, you know, guys are doing welding. We've had some of those incidents before where guys have been doing different types of hot work and they accidentally start a fire, you know, and it runs and gets heavy, right? And so how does that affect the community in terms of, you know, like while the incident is going, what kind of stuff do we have to deal with as a community? What kind of things are people thinking about?
Thinking about evacuation.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's a big thing. But there's only 20 stations, so there's our limited resources is hard. Like if a fire starts in a large community, we can't protect every house. We don't have the resources for one fire engine to protect every home, you know. So we have limited resources. It's going to be really challenging for us. So prevention is pretty much what we're leading to.
Right. So, you know, like you're saying the stations, right? That's an interesting thing because even if we have a lot of stations, but the distance between them can be a challenge, right? So if we have stations that are at different distances, you know, how much of a challenge is it to get resources from one station to the other at times?
Oh, it can be hours, right? Just depends where the other resources are. And then we partner with different agencies too, like DOFA and some private bulldozers, stuff like that. So
all of which are amazing.
Yeah.
They all do a great job.
Thank you very much for all of that. And so it can be difficult to get all those resources in one area, you know, quickly before the fire really spreads out of control.
Right. And so, you know, with that, right, the wildland portion becomes an issue, and evacuation, you brought that up, right? Yeah. So we obviously have road closures, things like that become really problematic at times, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so we have to constantly be aware, keep yourself updated with news, you know. Nixle is one of them I know people use, right? What's the other one? Well, I know everybody goes Big Island Thieves, right? That's one of the places people use, like social media kind of stuff. That always helps, right? We have our own pages. Civil Defense has great stuff. Yeah. I know they use Twitter because I follow Civil Defense on Twitter.
Yeah, but, Civil Defense.
Yeah.
They put alerts all the time.
They always have great alerts, right? So just being aware of the news, that kind of stuff, right? But just an introduction to wildfire and how, you know, it can turn real quick. It grows quickly. The wind starts picking up. It starts creating its own weather system.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of the thing. Unless you've been on a brush fire, you don't really understand how much of a thing that is.
Yeah.
Right.
The wind rushes past you.
Right. Because the fire's going this way. All of a sudden, the thing whips and comes towards you. And you're like, what the heck? Right. Yeah. So it's pretty amazing. And so, you know, for us, we just want everybody to understand that, you know, there are impacts on the communities. And there is an impact even for us on service, right? Because we can only, if everybody's fighting a brush fire, there's less people to help with a different incident, right? So like a motor vehicle incident or medical incidents, right? We have less personnel available at the time because it does take time to get resources, right? All our partnering agencies and our volunteers and those stuff. It takes a while to mobilize everybody, right? So these incidents happen really quick. And so as we're kind of having these discussions through the next 3 points, we kind of want to give everybody an opportunity to learn a little bit about it, talk about the different agencies that are helping us out, right? Give them a lot of tips. We're going to go into some cool tips and things you can do to prepare yourself, right? That sounds amazing. So first episode, good to go. Wildland, fire prevention party.
All right.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Requelman. See you next time.
Thank you.
Aloha and welcome to another episode of Police Profiles. I'm Denise Leitonen with Hawaiʻi Police Department, and I am delighted today. Joining me in the studio here is Deputy Chief Reed Mahuna. Deputy, thanks for joining me today.
Of course, thank you.
You have been working quite a lot on a new partnership that the Hawaiʻi Police Department has entered into with UH Hilo. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so we have this it's exciting internship program. It's called the Kalounui Internship Program, and what it is we expect that our internees will come for a semester each fall, 4 years, hopefully 4 years in a row. They'll intern at our department. They'll go through many different sections and divisions in our department and learn how they work and what it's all about. And in the meantime, they'll earn upper division credits, elective credits at UH Hilo.
And so college students are able to earn credit and actually work alongside actual police officers learning forensics, detective work, maybe see how our canine handlers work, IT, cybersecurity. They'll be able to explore all those different types of job opportunities.
Yeah, so the idea is that they get a whole picture of the police department. So it's not simply going to be them working with police officers in patrol or in the vice division. While that's certainly a part of it, we want them to learn everything that there is. And there's so many different things that make the police department work. So many different people, so many different backgrounds. It's not just police officers. There's support staff, civilian staff. We have communication staff, our radio shop, how the radio shop works. Of course, IT, our dispatchers, records, our crime lab. I mean, there's just so many different aspects of the police department. And, that's why it's exciting is we want these students to be exposed to all of it.
And so they're able to gain hands-on experience, get college credit, and then they could potentially join any type of law enforcement agency.
So that's correct. Or they could join a non-law enforcement agency. They could get that experience, could work to any job that they do in the future. I mean, if you come to the police department and you learn about IT, maybe that's your thing. Maybe that's where you're gonna end up in the job market. And I think the experience that you learn from our organization, our organization is so much more complicated, and it's so much more than just police officers out on the road, doing patrol work. I mean, that is of course the bread and butter of what we do, but there is a lot more to an organization like ours, and we want to expose these students to all of it, and it can help them in many ways moving forward. The other thing is they don't necessarily have to be an administration of justice major. They can take this class from another major, and they can still earn upper division elective credits, and they can and hopefully they'll see what interests them. And a lot of our youth, that's where they're at in life, right? They're at the point in life where they're trying to figure out what they want to do. And if you get exposed to an organization like ours, hopefully that can point you in the right direction.
And they may say, hey, I didn't think of this before, but now I'm considering a career in this, or I want to pursue this more.
Of course.
How did this partnership come about?
So we always, as a department, we want to figure out a way to connect with the community. We want to figure out a way to open our doors and basically let the community in to see what it is that we do. And we thought, what better way than the youth that we have in our community and students to come in and see what we're all about. And I think that was what that's, and of course, we would love for people that intern with us to eventually work with us. I mean, we would love that. That's what our goal is. But our goal, we have so much more that this program can give, just with us connecting with the people in our community, because that's who we are, right? The police department, we are part of the community. That's where we're all from. We're all from the community. We're brothers, we're sisters, we're aunties, uncles, and moms and dads. And what better way to further that relationship or further that sense of community than to have people come in and really see what we're all about.
And do they have to go to UH Hilo to participate in this program?
So interestingly enough, yesterday that question was posed to me, and I believe that the UH Hilo is looking to include other colleges in the program, because there are people that are interested from the outer islands to come here and intern with us. I think that kind of shows how unique the program is. If somebody's willing to travel, if somebody's willing to come here. And then, of course, there may be community members here that are taking classes, or they're trying to get their degree from, let's say, UH West Oahu, or myself. I took classes from Leeward Community College, which I never actually went there. So there may be people here locally that are taking classes at other UH campuses, and they may decide that this is something they want to do. So it's my belief that UH Hilo is opening it up to other campuses.
Okay. And how did the name of this program come about?
So I thought it was important to have the right name, and I needed somebody that would understand the context of what I was doing. So I reached out to Council Chair Inaba, and I've known him for a long time, and I know that he is really good with finding the correct meaning of what we're trying to accomplish. And so, Kalo'u is to link or hook together, and Nui means large or great. And so what we're trying to promote with this program is to link our department with the rest of the community, and we're hoping that those links will be great and long lasting, and they will bear fruit, whether it's somebody working for the police department or us helping somebody in the community, youth in the community, to pursue what other career they may want. Hopefully, things that they learned in our organization is going to help them moving forward.
Gotcha. Now, students that are interested, is this for freshmen through senior?
So the idea is that you would come and you would intern in four separate falls. So over 4 years, but it is open. So if you're a student and you've already, maybe you're in your last year and you don't need that many credits, we welcome, people that are going to be with us for 4 consecutive terms, or somebody that's going to be with us for 1 or 2. We welcome anybody that wants to be part of this program.
And how do people sign up for it? How do people learn more about it? Where do they go?
Right. So how it works is the internship program is listed in Administration of Justice for the fall, and the head of the Administration of Justice program is Dr. Catherine Young. And what happens is, if you sign up for the program, you would meet with our staff, and we run a background check to make sure that you're suitable to work in the police department. And then
and everybody in the department goes through a background check.
That's correct. Everybody goes through a background check. So we do that background check, and it's important because this internship program is going to be real. It's not going to be, you're just not going to be on the sidelines. You're going to be learning something about what we do. So there's a background check. It's very, very it's not something to be concerned about. And then once you pass the background check, we contact you and we let you know, hey, look, this is your this semester you're going to be working in communications, or you're going to be working in the patrol area, or maybe it's both. Maybe some will be in patrol, some will be in communications. But what we want to do is we'll also make sure that we don't repeat. So if you come to us for 4 years, you're not going to be repeating the same thing. We're going to give you different experiences, different divisions, different sections. So we're cognizant of the fact that we don't want it to just be, one particular thing you learn.
Okay, and is there a phone number or a website that people can go to?
Yeah, so you can contact Dr. Catherine Young at the Administration of Justice. Her office number is 808 932 7126.
Can you repeat that, please?
It's, of course, 808 932 7126.
Well, thank you, Deputy. Thank you for joining me today. It's a really exciting program. I know it's something you're very passionate about, and creating and promoting job skills in a unique field for the youth of our community. It really gives them a leg up in the job market, whatever that job market might look like in a couple of years. So thank you so much for joining me today.
Of course, thank you for having me.
And stay tuned for our next episode of Police Profiles. Aloha.
I am Officer Kaipo Arello of the Hawaiʻi Police Department, and I am here to ask for your assistance in locating individuals who you will see in just a moment. Our department depends on you to work with us by acting as our eyes and ears out in the community. If you provide an anonymous tip through Crime Stoppers, you may be eligible for a reward of up to $1,000. Crime Stoppers is a volunteer program run by ordinary citizens like you who want to keep our community safe. Here's how it works. First, get a code. Next, use your code to track your status and then collect your reward. It's that easy. Here are some individuals we need your help in locating. Please call if you know their whereabouts. Be on the lookout for 33-year-old Wesley Kauai, who is wanted on one outstanding warrant with a total bail of $1,000. Kauai is described as having an average build, 6 feet 3 inches tall, 200 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He also has a large Polynesian-type tattoo covering his right leg. Kauai is known to frequent the Waikoloa, Kauai, and Waimea areas. Help us locate 45-year-old Sky Joseph Kamai Lewis, who is wanted on one outstanding warrant with a total bail amount of $2,000. Lewis is described as having an average build, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 190 pounds, with short black hair and brown eyes. He also has a noticeable tattoo on his left forearm. Lewis' last known address was in the Waimea area, and he is known to frequent the Waimea, Waikoloa Village, and Kona areas. South Kohala officers are asking the public to be on the lookout for 56-year-old William Swayze, who is wanted on one outstanding warrant with a total bail of $20,000. Swayze has an average build, is 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighs around 175 pounds, with blonde hair and brown eyes. Swayze's last known address is in Waikoloa Village, and he is known to frequent the Waikoloa Village and Waimea areas. The Hawaiʻi Police Department requests your assistance in locating 33-year-old Pono Nakoa Catret, who is wanted on one outstanding warrant with a total bail of $1,000. Catret is described as having an average build, 5 feet 8 inches tall, 135 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. His last known address is in the Waimea area, and he is known to frequent the Waikoloa Village, Kauai, and Waimea areas. We are looking for 42-year-old Cole Race Joaquin, who is wanted for a $50,000 arrest warrant. Race Joaquin is 5 feet 7 inches tall, 150 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He is known to frequent the Puna, Hamakua, and Ka'u districts. Help us locate 39-year-old Casey Hui Assam, who has 2 outstanding warrants totaling $35,000. Known to frequent the Honoka'a and Waimea areas, Hui Assam is 5 feet 10 inches tall, 190 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. Let us know if you know the whereabouts of 31-year-old Clyde Loa Jr., who is wanted for 2 outstanding warrants totaling $100,000, an arrest warrant for escape, and also a Paris warrant. Loa Jr. escaped from Halenani Correctional Facility in Hilo on December 13, 2024, and should be considered armed and dangerous. He is described as having a thin build, 5 feet 9 inches tall, 225 pounds, with long wavy black hair, uncut facial hair, and brown eyes. He is known to frequent the Hilo, Puna, and Ka'u areas. We are looking for 37-year-old Sai K. Cunningham, who is wanted on a criminal arrest warrant relative to a probation violation. Cunningham is described as 5 feet 9 inches tall, 130 pounds, with brown hair and brown eyes. He is believed to be in the Hilo area. Please help us locate 60-year-old Randy Allen Jack, who is wanted on 3 criminal arrest warrants relative to probation violations. Jack is described as 5 feet 10 inches tall, 215 pounds, with gray hair and hazel eyes. He is believed to be in the Hilo area. Please help us locate 42-year-old Buck Daniel Jordan, who is wanted on 3 criminal arrest warrants relative to probation violations. He is 6 feet 1 inch tall, 180 pounds, with short red hair and blue eyes. Jordan is believed to be in the Hilo area. Call us if you know the whereabouts of 32-year-old Christopher Matos, who is wanted for 2 outstanding warrants and 3 APBs. He is described as having a large build, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 195 pounds, with short brown hair and black eyes. Known to frequent the lower and upper Puna areas, Matos is known to be armed and dangerous and should not be approached. The Hawaiʻi Police Department requests your assistance in locating 38-year-old Keali'io Kekai Kamanu, who is wanted for 2 outstanding warrants and 3 APBs. Kamanu is described as having a medium build, 5 feet 11 inches tall, 180 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He frequents the lower Puna, mostly the Kalapana and Leilani Estates areas. Call us if you know the whereabouts of 35-year-old Jason Mitchell, who is wanted for an outstanding warrant and 7 APBs. He is described as having a thin build, 5 feet 9 inches tall, 145 pounds, with short black hair and brown eyes. Mitchell is known to frequent the lower and upper Puna areas. Please be on the lookout for 25-year-old Liam Zelber, who is wanted for an outstanding warrant and multiple APBs. He is described as having a thin build, 5 feet 6 inches tall, 140 pounds, with short black hair and brown eyes. Known to frequent the Hawaiian Acres and Fern Acres subdivisions in Upper Puna, Zelber is also known to be armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Call us if you know the whereabouts of 28-year-old Andrew Amon, who is wanted for 4 bench warrants totaling $20,100, as well as for questioning in connection with other criminal investigations. Amon is 5 feet 5 inches tall, 130 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. He is known to frequent the Hawaiian Ocean View Estates area in Ocean View. Help us locate 28-year-old Johnson Heckers, who is wanted on 3 outstanding warrants totaling $7,100, as well as for questioning in multiple stolen vehicle investigations. He is known to reside in the Ocean View area and is described as 5 feet 7 inches tall, 150 pounds, with black hair and brown eyes. As always, we want to thank you for your assistance in helping us to locate these individuals. Tipsters who prefer to remain anonymous may call the island-wide Crime Stoppers number at 808-961-8300 and may be eligible for a reward of up to $1,000. Crime Stoppers does not record calls or use caller ID. Hawaii Island's Most Wanted is a project of Crime Stoppers Hilo, Inc., which is a partnership of the business community, the media, and the police. It was inspired by the national TV show America's Most Wanted. I am Officer Kaipo Arello of the Hawaiʻi Police Department. Mahalo for watching.